The 14-year-old boy and the couple's 3 other children are now in the care of Child Protective Services. Still with us to talk about this, attorneys Josh Ritter and Dr. Tracy A. Pearson. Near and dear to my heart, I've done this all of my career, dealt with child welfare, but it almost makes me want to be sick every time I hear of another case of abuse. And the thing that really is flying all over me right now is that the attorney made the statement that he was abused because of his attachment disorder and that he was attached to his parents. Remember, this 14-year-old was adopted by these 2 parents, have been charged. All right, let's blame the child. Never blame the child. I don't care what kind of behavioral issues they have. They may need help. It may be hard. It may be unbearable, but there is help available. You don't get to lock them in a cage. Tracy, weigh in first, if you would, on that case.
I spent a great big portion of my career doing these cases as well, and these are textbook fact patterns, and it disgusts me that these kids couldn't be found sooner. With respect to the 14-year-old boy, where was the school? Why hadn't somebody reported him and looked into it sooner? And for a child to have to approach the police and say, "I want you to arrest me," rather than go home, this child is going to experience a lifetime of traumatic injury as a result of what he's experienced here.
And Josh, one of the things, I know that you talked with us about this case earlier on in the show, and this child who's 14 now has been in this cage, 8x8 cage. I'm going to call it a cage, but apparently the parents refer to it as an office. The adoptive parents say, oh, it's an office. But one of the things that we didn't really get into were the cameras and the fact that there were cameras mounted, and over 1,000 hours, according to Ryan Hughes, who reported on this, a video of the young boy in this enclosure. Why would they be videoing it, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, there's so many questions here of why they behaved the way that they did. I mean, I like your point that, yes, let's go ahead and blame the young victim, that he had behavioral issues, therefore we had to go to these measures. I looked at that neighborhood. I looked at that house. They looked like they were living in a nice neighborhood. Are you telling me they had no other resources or place to turn to try to help their young son, but to place him inside of a cage? I don't.